Hi everybody! I'm so good to see you again. I wanted to talk about the movie Arrival, which has Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner in it. It came out the beginning of this year, 2017, and I saw trailers for it in the theaters, but I never actually got to go watch it. So when I saw it on Hulu this week, I went, ooh, opportunity! So I was really excited, so we got to watch it on Hulu. And it was really good. I really did enjoy it. I thought it would be good. It looks really interesting. You know, the whole concept of meeting another race, from a race of people from another planet or from the future or whatever, always intrigues me. I mean, I know it's something that's not going to actually ever happen. My personal beliefs say that's not ever going to happen, but it's fun to play with the idea every once in a while, and you get some good stories out of it too. One thing I really liked about this story was the portrayal of the main character by Amy Adams, and I was really fascinated by her calm. Like, when the movie started, when the movie starts, first they give this rundown of her from her baby. She has a baby, and then the baby grows up, and baby's a teenager, baby gets cancer, and it's terrible, and it's really sad. And then you cut to her teaching college. Now, it's not really clear when the first cut if it's after the baby or not, or what. You know, so I kind of assumed when I first watched it, it was after her baby had died. Like, so I'm like, oh wow, she's so incredibly calm. She's, lost her child, and now she's, going back and starting her life all over, and good for her. Yeah, if you've seen the movie, it's not quite what happened. But either way, when the movie started, and all the aliens, all the shells, as they called them, arrived and sent everyone into a panic and into a tizzy over it, she was just really calm. Like, she's walking back. They evacuated the campus that she works at, the college campus she worked at. She just walks home calmly. She's no franticness. She's on the phone with her mom. Mom, I'm fine. No worries. She goes home. Basically, she just curls up in a ball on her bed. So I think that was her way of expressing that she wasn't comfortable with the change. She didn't like the change that was happening with the arrival. But that was the only way she expressed it. And then the next morning, she gets up and she goes to work. So I was impressed by the level of calm she had. Like, it wasn't bothering her. She wasn't allowing it to bother her. Of course, by the time she actually met the aliens, we go, aliens have arrived, and there's mass chaos, and no one knows what's going on, and then, oh my gosh, we're going to have you come translate. There's language that you must come translate, and there's a military establishment, and then you actually see this giant shell sticking up out of the ground, and it's like a lot all at once. And she definitely started to crack. Like, you could see her, like, losing it. And the sound, when she goes into the military place, was so cool. Like, they perfectly grasped they upped the sound level just to the point where you just kind of felt isolated. Or I felt that isolation of, you don't quite know what's going on, and it's all brand new, and you're kind of just being flooded by all the sound and everything. And it just perfectly got that. And, it was perfect. I loved it. They got that feeling of new and weird in the episode, in that spot. And then she actually meets the aliens, and just kind of breaks down. like she just kind of loses it. And then and she's like, oh my gosh, I failed. And they're like, hey, you did better than the last one. And I'm like, I wonder how far the last guy even got. You know, I mean, she made it all the way up there before she started completely flipping out. I mean, she had to deal with, like, the gravity changed on them, and it was a lot to take in. But, so all this takes in, she has her breakdown. And then she accepts it quickly. And she goes, kind of, as in, you know, I think what helped was, for her, there was a job to be done. She needs to communicate with these creatures. She needs to know, they need her to tell them why they're here. And this is something she knows how to do. She knows how to find a way to talk to people. That's what she does, is she helps people, well, she translates. And so she could do this. This is something she could do, and she starts taking concrete steps, like taking a whiteboard, because she can't make their human, the way they speak, their sounds are something she can't do. Our human vocal cords just couldn't do it. I mean, obviously not. This was a sound, a sound made in a recording studio. It's not something human voices make. But either way, it's not something she's never going to be able to speak their language. So she goes, I'm not going to be able to speak at once. I know. I'm never going to speak their language, even though I can tell that they have a language there, and I could speak it, but I'm not going to be able to speak it, but perhaps I can read it. So that becomes the first thing, is she starts establishing written communication. Well, first she goes in and go, do they have written communication? Like, is this high, loud whale song basically the only way they speak? Because if it is, we're going to have to try something else. But she goes in and she uses human. And then they write. And then begins a long process of just learning their language. And they do it over, and then they had this cool montage where just Jeremy Renner's character was talking over, you know, the progress they made and everything, and it was like, this is a really cool way to do a montage, and then at the end they're like, oh, and it's been a month. It's like, oh, okay, so now we've passed through time, but we kind of got to see the different things that they did without feeling like a montage. It was really, I'm like, I want to copy that for something. That would be just, I really liked how they did their little montage thing. But to see her, you know, she accepts quickly, I guess is what I would want to call it. Her quick acceptance of normal just changed, and this is what normal is now. Like, it was here, and now it's gone up here. Or, it's gone over here. But this is where I need to be now. You know, she just goes there without a lot of fighting. She just flows with it. Which I thought was really, really cool. I talked a lot. And so, like, the story and execution, like I said, I really liked how they did it. They did a great job with that. The looks it actually looked really good. Like, it really did look like a good sci-fi movie. I was thinking when I was watching them, they had like this meeting room where they'd go in and meet the aliens or the squid people or whatever, or what do they call them, hectagonals or something like that. It had this like gray, stonish room that they all interacted in. And I was like, this is such a sci-fi room. It was really cool, but it was just such a sci-fi room. It was so, I wouldn't say it was like exceptionally gorgeous or anything. I mean, the colors were pretty drab for the most part, even though they do have Amy Adams, who has the advantage of having gorgeous red hair. So you always have a pop of color as soon as she walks into the room. There's a pop of color, which kind of they did make a point of, because everything else kind of kept drearier colors, you know, military kind of colors. There was a lot of grays, a lot of browns, some, like, the darker greens were there, but And then there was the white and the gray. That was kind of the colors, and black ink. That was the colors for the aliens. So you really didn't have a lot of color, and then you have Amy Adams, who has bright red hair. She wore colored shirts. So she was kind of the color of the movie, actually, now that I think about it a little bit. And like I said, they had really good music. The ending credits music was perfect. It seemed a little shocking and weird, but after the revelation of the finale, it was like the perfect thing to bring me back down to earth. Yeah, so many parts. Let's see. So, what would have been my favorite part? My favorite part. My favorite part of the movie. Honestly, I would have to say it was when she introduced herself to the aliens and she took off her radiation suit. Because it was such a big, bold move to do that. They were so concerned, they were trying to be so safe, and for her to take this giant risk just in the name of learning how to talk to these people. I think that was my favorite part. And then to have Jeremy Renner follow suit, I mean, that was really cool. Yeah, that was my favorite scene. And then I did like the ending a lot. Like, now there's one thing I kind of thought they kind of didn't do well in the movie, and that was establish the romance between Renner's character and Adam's character. Because by the time the movie ends, you realize that they got married, they had a baby, and all this stuff. But at the end you kind of saw how it could happen. But it kind of felt like at the end, it was I want a child, or this is his future, so I'm going to make it happen, kind of thing. Which was a little weird. Like, if you're really going to have a baby with somebody, like, shouldn't you love them, really? I don't know. I haven't had my baby yet, so I don't know how this works. I guess maybe, I don't know. I haven't had a child yet, and I still just absolutely adore my husband, so it felt weird to me. Like, I was kind of like, I kind of could understand, like, yeah, I could understand being with the guy to have your baby, because I want a baby a lot, but I just think they could have developed that a little bit better, so it made a little more, I don't know, like the last scene of the movie, they give a big hug, and you're like, and by that point you're like, oh, you know what's going to happen with them, so you're happy to see them, you know, you're like, you know they're going to get together, you know they're going to have a child, blah, 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 blah. But it would have been nice to be less of, you know, I don't know, for her, she kind of had this attitude that was like, I'm going to put myself through this pain for, yeah, that's kind of what it was. I'm going to put myself through this for the moments of happiness. And I think if we had just established that they already had some moments of happiness, that it would have made that final scene better. I think that's the only thing they didn't really have. They didn't really have any moments of happiness of them dating. You know, I mean, you can have, as someone who has worked with other people in semi-professional situations, you can have moments of happiness in that kind of environment. There can be moments of connection. There can be moments of happiness in that kind of environment. And that was kind of the point of the movie, was that those moments in time are kind of what we live for. We live for the first smile, the light in your child's eyes, the flowers on the road. So I think that if they had just done better of showing their moments of happiness were already starting, but of course you also kind of knew what was going to happen to them later. I don't know. They did a good job. I mean, it's not like it did badly, but I feel like it could have been done a little differently. But if they had done it too well, you would not have seen why they would have been divorced. Yeah. It was a sad and happy ending at the same time. Yeah. So, what did you think? Did you get to see Arrival? If you did, comment. Tell me what you thought. I would love to see what you thought of it. Also, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And also, if you have any ideas of what movie I should talk about in my next review, comment. Tell me down below. No guarantees. No guarantees. I haven't decided what movie I'm watching next week. But no guarantees that I'm going to watch the one you pick. No guarantees I won't. You never know. And either way, I need advice. I need some suggestions. So, suggest movies down there, okay? Alright, I will see you guys on the next video. And I hope you enjoyed my movie review. And, oh, okay. So, last final thing. I will give Arrival on, what do we usually do for stars? I'm going to do 10 stars, okay? So, out of 10 stars, I would give Arrival 7. I would give Arrival 7 stars. So, because I think that romance was just not, too much not missing romance. So, I give Arrival 7 stars out of 10. What do you think? You agree? Etc. Like, comment, share. I appreciate it. See you next time. Bye.